Here is a 2004 Roadtrek on a Chevy Express chassis. I'm going to be swapping in a Orion XS as a DCDC charger and taking out the charging diode that is currently in here. This one's a little more complicated than most diodes that I've ever seen. It also has a couple other little, they call these, I don't know, self-resetting breakers, which are total crap. So we're gonna be taking this out today. The main reason is because I am putting in a new lithium power system with some solar panels on the roof, a couple other major upgrades, deleting the generator, putting in a 2000 watt Multiplus inverter charger in the back. I'm currently laying out my major components, but I wanted to take today and get rid of this charging diode. So let's take a look. So first steps were to find the charging diode. Now I knew that this vehicle had one because it had a lead acid house battery bank, and of course it has a lead acid starter battery. So I just kind of started following the power cables from the positive terminal on the battery, and then it led me right to here. And like I said before, this one is a little more complicated. Usually it's just 3 posts, like an in, a ground, and an out, or it's an in, starter battery and house battery. But there's a couple other terminals on here, a couple other connections. You see this is like a wire tap. I'm not quite sure what all this stuff does. Basically, I want to delete this. I want to combine all 3 of these posts into one so that the alternator power supply will feed the starter battery and the house battery. And then in the back of the van by the lithium battery, I'll install this. I do want to install a breaker up here that goes back to the house battery bank. So yeah, I'm just going to start taking off components and see what it looks like. All right, so I did get this unit out. You can see it's a Powerline model by Hair Power Systems. It's a company no longer in business. Looks like it was made for Home and Park, which is the owner of Roadtrek, or it was at the time. I was able to find some old wiring diagrams. Battery 1 is your starter battery, A1 your alternator, B2 your house battery, and then this is a cable for, you know, just sort of like an ignition on-off. So it goes to a little breaker like they show in the diagram, and it goes to a relay, and then it would go, you know, somewhere else, probably just an ignition switch. So it's a small wire from the ignition, opening up a relay that takes power from the alternator post, supplies it through the relay, opens it up, and then allows your you know, power to flow through into here. So it's a little complicated for what it actually does. But however, there was another wire here that comes right off the alternator, and it was showing that you know, this alternator, if it's a CS Designs, yeah, and it's a red wire like it shows in the diagram. This is just a sense wire, which went to the battery 1 post, which is just the starter battery. So when we hook it back up, that's just going to go on the post to the starter battery, which was this cable over here. Just runs, goes to there, which all that is disconnected. That was the first step. And then this little wire right here that went to the relay, you see this black wire here, is just a ground, and it just runs over somewhere over there to the chassis. So pretty straightforward. The little wire tap that we used, that somebody used off the harness here, is pretty gnarly. So I'm gonna pop a butt connector on that to seal that all off. I'm gonna take that thing off, and then we're gonna be mounting a battery post probably on this surface and joining all of these terminals and a breaker switch. All right, went inside and got some components for this next step of the install. Oh, I still need to take off that piece of aluminum, but I grabbed this EGIS surface mount breaker. This is 60 amps, which is what we need for that input line for the Orion DC-DC. That's the 30 amp version. And then I also have this Blue Sea power post, and this is just stuff that I always keep in stock because it's super handy for retrofits just like this. Also have some stainless steel self-tapping screws that are long enough to fit over the flange of this power post and of this guy here. And yeah, we're going to mount it right to here, but of course we want to see what's behind this surface because it could be something important, but in this case it's just like the, you know, the windshield rain gutter. It might be nice to put a little bit of silicone on these holes too so that no rain drips down through all of this stuff. But yeah, I was able to, first I wanted to make sure all of my cables were going to reach a single post, because if you remember on that isolator, they were spread apart, and I was able to pull this one with a little bit of slack off that end, and the cable that goes back to the house battery, I'll have to cut that off. Oh, well, that'll go to the breaker, so it might be fine, or just open it up. But there was a little bit of extra there. I cut a zip tie. Cut back that ground wire there so it's not confusing to somebody else. Here we're prepping for the butt connector, so I'll do that next. Get everything mounted, and let's I'll show you. All right, we're all buttoned up here. Put my little butt connector on there. We have our breaker, surface mount breaker for the DC charger, which is currently open right now so that there's no hot lines in the back. We have our 5/16 power post by Blue Sea mounted here, and it's got a little cover. It's a little floppy, but it'll keep, you know, it'll keep you from shorting out on a screwdriver when you're working in the engine. But yeah, other than that, I'm not really too happy with how all this harness is just kind of resting on the alternator, but that's how it was. I guess it's been fine. Our battery connection at the actual battery is secure. So next time I come in here will be to turn on the breaker and add a little label that says, you know, DCDC Charger 60 amp. All right, so here's part 2 of this DCDC installation in this 2004 Roadtrek. We're installing this 12 to 12 30 amp DCDC charger, and we're in the rear driver's side bench lid is lifted up because I'm installing a whole system. So I have a Multiplus, I'm integrating into the stock breaker and fuse panel, I'm install a solar charge controller over here. There's my inverter turn on and my battery monitor. But down here on this solenoid, this is the little clicking apparatus that when you turn the battery on and off from the front control panel, this is where that clicking comes from. It's just a solenoid. And so we have an input and we have an output. And we know this is the output because this wire goes right in here to our DC load center. And we're going to keep this intact so that that switch can function as an on and off for the DC loads, at least anything that's on this fuse panel. There will be others that won't be on it, but we'll keep some functionality. The input side comes down to this, another one of these little self-resetting breakers, and then even another one. You can see there's one lead that goes to that goes down through the floor, and then the other one that comes up through the floor goes to that side that bypasses the breaker but utilizes that one. And so one of these is the line to where the batteries were, which will be deleted, and the other one goes up front. Now I could test from up here, but I did disconnect the one from the battery already, and it's fairly loose, so I'm thinking once I pull this little screw out, I'll be able to easily tell which one was the battery and which one goes up front. I could also just get out and look underneath and see, you know, if I can identify left and right. But I'll do that and pull it out. All right, well, my first guess was correct. It was the one over here that bypassed this. This is basically the other end of the circuit for the DC, the old, you know, diode charger. So I pulled that cable through, disconnected it here. Now I'm going to have to delete this and take off this wire. This is where I will hook up my new DC load cable that comes from the Lynx distributor that I'll install. And then this DC line that did go to this is now going to be converted to a bus bar or a power post. I could just use this thing as the power post and just not even put the other lead there, put it right there, and then connect it to my DCDC charger, which is probably going to get mounted right about there, and then I'll move this solenoid over closer to this this fuse box. So let's do that. Okay, have everything installed, have my full system kind of up and running. See, we have our power distribution center mounted on a little H-frame on top of the Multiplus. Multiplus cools on this end, sucks it in through the vents here. Our Orion 30 amp DC-DC charger is mounted right over here. See, I moved over the solenoid and to the load center, the stock load center. And then I have, you know, some 6-gauge cables running out of this Orion. Down here I have this hot post. I didn't use the little self-resetting breakers because I didn't have any lugs that were 6-gauge and 1/4 inch hole. So I had to use something that was a little larger. And so that's where my connection is. And then I have a little bit of heat shrink over the post because it was rather long and I didn't want anybody dropping any tools down in there. So this little compartment is pretty closed off. There'll be cushions on top once the platform's back on. So what I did was I drilled a big hole, it's probably like a 2-inch hole, behind the Orion. I'll lift up this plumbing compartment so we can see that hole right there, right next to the MPPT. And then I'm gonna wire in a little fan that pulls air, you know, from here, or blows out air on the front of this cabinet, and then it will suck air from behind the Orion and just kind of keep it a little cool, keep the whole compartment a little cooler when it's really hot in there, because these things do put off some heat. But yeah, other than that, that's the full DC-DC installation. I've gone in and programmed everything via Victron Connect. I have my full system connected here. My battery cable is going out under the van because we have a custom undermount battery tray. Check out the full video of this system for that. And yeah, see you next time.